It took more than 12 hours to count all this money, even using a dozen industrial cash counting machines. The strain on the counters was so great, some broke before the tally was even complete. In the end, it came to $10,091,871. And although it was stacks of American cash, this alleged dirty money wasn't found in America, but hidden inside a home in Panama, a country in Central America world famous for its canal and as a tax haven. While this cash stash is irresistible as a headline, the real news here is probably those who were arrested. 57 people accused of working with Colombia's most prominent cocaine cartel, the Clan del Golfo, with several of those arrested being public officials. 5 of them are police officers, 1 is in naval counter-narcotics, 2 work at the Panama Canal, another for the Ministry of Education, and 1 is a politician. The mob reporter here with news of the largest anti-organized crime operation in Panama's history, called Operation Fisher, that reeled in a record catch of alleged drug money. Let me tell you about it. Doors were crashing open at the start of the month. More than 50 searches and raids led to 57 people being arrested. Most are accused of money laundering and criminal association for alleged links to the Colombian cartel, using Panama as a way station and moving tons of coke from South America into the United States, and then recycling the revenue. There was cash seized here or there during the wave of arrests. Officers were hand counting it then, as you see here. At first, officers were pleased to announce on December 1, 2021, they had found $44,000 in the raids. As they kept finding more, the number jumped to $94,000. But by the next day, police dug a little deeper into one of the houses they raided in Colón. Literally dug deeper. The scale of the shocking discovery was then revealed. The total found inside that house was just shy of $10 million. The bundles of cash were found spread between 3 hiding spots: in a room of the house, inside a wardrobe, and inside a warehouse attached to the home. I guess they're right. Some old houses really are a money pit. The bundles were a mix of 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, and $100 bills. Police alleged the group was generating revenue through coke sales, and while some was kept as a liquid asset, more was invested and circulated into Panama's banking system and financial economy, including real estate, businesses, and high-end vehicles. There were 47 men and 10 women arrested. 1 was a Colombian citizen. Among those arrested was a major in the National Police Force and a captain in the blended Navy-Air Force that runs Panama's coastal counter-narcotics operation. Court also heard that another of those arrested is a politician. Miguel Arturo Linton was a candidate in the 2019 election.
Partido Popular. Gancho al 4 también en la casilla para José Isabel Blanco.
He used to work for the government's tax office, and now lists himself as an entrepreneur and manager of an investment company. The link to politics caused another scandal in Panama, boosted by photos of Linton posing with prominent officials, including a former president of the country, the current leader of a political party, and a Supreme Court judge. The bad optics prompted political parties to fight over whose party Linton represented at the time of the political coalition, with each party publicly pointing at the other. Some came with receipts. It also prompted a response from the judge, distancing himself from Linton. All of the photos, of course, were taken before he was arrested and before he was publicly alleged to be involved in this crime, and a reminder that none of the allegations have yet been proven in court. What is emerging is an organized structure of alleged product movers and money launderers. Jorge Luis General, 35, was named in court as the leader of the local cell of the narcos. He is nicknamed, a little too obviously for me, the General. When officers arrived at his house, court heard they asked if he had anything to declare. He apparently then retrieved $17,900, all in $100 bills, from his underwear. He wears boxers, thankfully, rather than briefs. His company has government licenses for squid fishing, and many of those accused of moving product ashore were fishermen, providing investigators with the code name for their probe, Operation Fisher. Among those arrested are several members of the general's family, including his mother and stepfather, court heard. The group was active for several years in receiving, guarding, and hiding large quantities of dope arriving from Colombia in speedboats, which raced along the Atlantic coast, authorities allege. Smugglers brought their load ashore at the Costa Arriba of Colón, where the cartel's main collection centers were, which was later distributed hidden in vehicles, authorities said. False bottoms in trucks, boats, cars, and even taxicabs were used to hide it. Sometimes it was hidden in gas tanks or tires or other places. They could be quite inventive. Police alleged the group was responsible for 1.5 tons of coke that had been intercepted in months past, in 25 different finds, most of them flowing from wiretaps and surveillance that, unbeknownst to the conspirators, were underway for this probe. The raids uncovered 10 guns and authorities seized 38 vehicles, a handful of boats, and a dozen properties, one of them a $1 million beachfront mansion with 2 swimming pools and a sports field. Here it is under police guard. The money laundering was allegedly facilitated by a lawyer who helped create and register companies in Panama that hid the source of the money, court was told. The companies were then used to buy real estate, including homes, warehouses, and apartments, which were used by the leaders of the group and as meeting places for coke conspirators. Police alleged the group also amassed weapons, including M4 assault rifles and submachine guns. For its small size, Panama is an important hub in the global underworld. It's become a transshipment point for cartels in South America and Mexico, pushing their products into the United States and Canada, and even Europe. Panama's companies, banks, and money services have also been an important cog in the narco machine, used for both tax avoidance and money laundering. The police operation itself was supported by the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, and it began in February 2020. There were wiretaps, video and physical surveillance involved, as well as a paper chase of company ownership and assets, and at least one informant. The case was likely on the agenda this time last year when senior U.S. drug enforcement officials visited Panama. It was, in fact, the first time the DEA's top official visited the country. Here's the DEA's acting administrator Timothy O'Shea and U.S. diplomats meeting Panama's Attorney General and senior security officials. And this is what an international meeting looked like a year ago, during the raging pandemic, with a mind-boggling amount of plexiglass. The DEA met with Panamanian authorities again this September, this time on American soil. Panama's Attorney General, Javier Caraballo, the man who announced the Operation Fisher arrests and the cash seizure, sat down in Texas with U.S. officials to specifically discuss the presence of the Clan del Golfo in Panama. It's almost like they were warning the clan they were in the crosshairs. Last week, prosecutors wrapped up 8 days of court hearings against those arrested in Operation Fisher, making the initial case against each of them, seeking their continued detention. 51 of the 59 people arrested were ordered detained. 3 others were placed under house arrest, and 2 required to periodically check in with police. Few of them have a previous criminal record. 7 of them had their positions in public office suspended. And this week, prosecutors plan to press ahead in court, arguing its case for the government to maintain control of the seized assets, including the cash. Thanks for watching.